he's the perfect fit because he's a professional. Like, he came into the league as a pro. He's humble because he was the last pick in the draft. He was humble before that, obviously. He's a good kid. There's no but because he's the 7th pick, if Kyle wants to coach, wants to ride him hard, he can. And you know what? Purdy will be fine with it because that's who Purdy is. Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't as fine with it, and it didn't bring out the best in either guy. I think there's absolutely something to that. He has found a perfect quarterback, talent-wise, intelligence-wise, and he can also coach him the way he wants to coach somebody without having to worry that Purdy's going to get his feelings. Purdy's not going to get his feelings hurt. He's making $800,000 a year, and he's a 7th-round pick. He's gonna keep being coachable. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't even know if it's that. I mean, it's like, I think they both have, in their own way, chips on their shoulders, and that's why I think they're really good for each other. Like, Kyle Shanahan is the son of a all-time head coach, so in his mind, he's probably had to work for everything that he's gotten, and he's had to prove that he belongs at every single table that he's had a key to. Like, he's been in the door since he's a kid, but he's had to prove that he deserves to be in that room. And he's done that with his intellect and his resume and his success. Hasn't won the Super Bowl yet, and I think that's a big part of it too. That's the final step for Kyle Shanahan. For Brock Purdy, well, I think he even talked about this after the game against the Cardinals. Like, he wasn't recruited by Arizona or Arizona State, and he's from Glendale.
Right. He
only received letters from those schools or received interest from those schools after a couple of guys were like, hey, this guy's getting calls from Alabama. He's getting calls from other, Power 5 conferences. Like, you guys need to look at this kid. Now, they did, and Purdy didn't really feel, he said he didn't feel like there was a respect.
Right.
Like, there wasn't we need you, and we believe that you're a game-changing player. It's, well, everyone else is doing it, so you're kind of the new thing. We should go out and send you a letter. Like, so Purdy's always kind of had a chip on his shoulder, even at Iowa State. He didn't play with the greatest of talents around him. He's going up against other big-time programs. He has to prove that he belonged in the Big 12. And, of course, then he gets drafted in the 7th round. He has to prove each and every day in practice or training camp, rookie minicamp, that he belongs in the NFL. So I think Kyle Shanahan knows that he can push Brock because they kind of have a similar chip on their shoulder. Like, people continuously don't believe or have not believed in you for a long period of your life. And so you always have to be open to criticism. Like, skepticism is not something that's new to Brock Purdy. It's probably not something that's new to Kyle Shanahan. And so I think that's another reason why they're great fits for each other, is because they're allowed to push or pull at one another and know that it's not personal because you've been dealing with it your whole life.